Hi, Patrick Olson here with Jeff's Jigs and Flies, and we use exclusively ice strong titanium spring bobbers to fish Jeff's jigs, and I can't tell you, they're an excellent spring bobber. A lot of manufacturers of spring bobbers, certain companies and whatnot, they have little clip-on plastic deals. It just clips onto the rod blank, and that's fine and stuff, but I'm not a big fan of them. My line gets tangled in them frequently, and they're a little bulky and a little weird. So I'm going to show you how to put on some of these ice strong titaniums. This is the new model, the ultralight one. This little wire here, and then I'm just using a stock. It's a Frabill microlight, little 18-incher, which I want a spring on here for. This rod in particular has a tube style tip, meaning that this tube, it's a metal tube right here, it's just slid on and glued. Some of your other higher end ice rods will have just a fly guide and it'll be wrapped on there. That's two different scenarios for putting this on. One thing you can do is you can go down to your local bait and tackle store or shop and ask around and see if there's a custom rod builder in your area. He'd be more than happy to install this on the rod for you. It wouldn't be very much, $5 to $10. You know, that's normally what I would charge myself when I was building. I don't build much anymore, but that may become a thing of the future again. I don't know, I kind of miss it. But anyway, I was going to show you a couple of different ways of how to put this on yourself. Bobbin here from a fly tying kit, or just a spool of thread, and then I got some super glue here too. There's a couple of different ways you can go about this. With the tube top like this, you can heat it up and it'll slide right off. You can then take your piece of really small shrink tubing, slide that on, you can re-glue the tip back on, and then put your spring on here. The super glue that I have is a gel super glue, so it's got a thicker viscosity. It's not like water. This is, yeah, it's gel. And I want that because I kind of want to just dab it on. I don't want it to run anywhere. You can take and you can glue that on there. Slide your heat shrink tubing up, hit it with the lighter, and you should be good to go. That's one way. The other way is I'm going to show you how to maybe wrap this up using thread. I just got a spool of black thread here, black, or you can use this high vis. This is fly tying thread, and I think I'm going to use this bobbin. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the rod in my right hand. I just want to get this thread started on here because I want the spring to lay on the thread. I'm gonna try to build like a sandwich type deal here, so I'm just gonna wrap, nothing fancy. Just gonna wrap this a bunch of times, and this will give it some body for the glue to hang on to. I got a little pair of scissors here, trim off this tag end just like if you were tying flies. If you don't have a bobbin, you can do this by hand. I'm just gonna bulk this up a little bit. And this will work too for a rod that doesn't have the tube top. Sorry, it's cold out here today. It's windy. So I've got it just kind of wrapped and hanging there, okay? Now I'm going to take my super glue and I'm just going to put a little dab. Just going to put a little dab of super glue along this top edge right here, right along there. I'm just going to put a few dots, a little bit bigger dots. Run this along here. It's going to get a little messy, but we'll take care of that. Whew. Windy. So now, with everything kind of hanging in the balance here, make sure your guides are pointed down. Now I'm just going to lay, with my left hand, I'm going to lay this spring down on here about where I'd want it, the length hanging out. I'm going to try to make sure it's centered. Now I don't know if you can see, I'm just using my iPhone here, but there's big globs of glue. I'm just going to go and I'm going to lightly wrap. I just want to do light wraps right through the glue blobs, if you will. I'm going to make sure that yep, and it did. It shifted a little bit. I'm just going to twist that back over so it's centered over top of my blank. This is where you're going to get a little sticky. Just going to kind of smear that adhesive around and kind of take off a little bit of the excess. Okay. Wipe it on your pants. Wipe it on the park bench. It'll dry. So now, I don't want this sucker to come loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie off. I'm going to tie around here. I'm going to get a little bit tighter each time I go. I'm going to try to make it a little bit prettier. You know what might help too? I don't know, maybe not. Just making sure that spring is centered. I'm wrapping quite a bit of thread up by the very, very top up there. So I don't want it to move. You can, if you want, you can take the time to make this thin, nice and pretty, yada, yada, yada. There we go. Now, there it is. It's pretty much good to go. Now, I could whip finish it, but I can't remember how to do that with my fingers. So I'm just going to take and trim this off. I'm going to add a little bit more of the sticky stuff here, right on the top. Kind of underneath a little bit. Just like so. And Yahtzee. There it is. Just like that. Some super glue and some thread, and you now have a spring. This one's actually kind of turned out really good because it kind of sits up, so more efficient. Everything will be kind of nice in line when we got our jigs down there. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions and you want me to show you the other method of taking the tip off, I certainly can do that. I didn't do it this time because I forgot my heat shrink tubing. So if you want, I can do that video as well too. So thank you very much and good luck.